My name's Mac Davis. Thank you for flying in for this event. I'm just curious to get a poll of the audience. Who came for the longevity and biomedicine? Okay, wow, most of the people. And who came for the Charter Cities, Prospera, Special Economic Sense? Okay, most of the people. Great. That's my favorite blend. Yeah, so I'm here to tell you that the rumors are true. Prospera is the best place in the world to do biomedical clinical research. You may have heard that. I'm here to both demonstrate that and tell you about it. My company, MiniCircle, has developed the first reversible gene therapy that's available now in a special economic zone, and we're very prideful of doing this in these types of new jurisdictions that are really more true to moral principle and what I believe is more proper legal structure and legal backing. I think the reason I was so attracted to this zone was originally the common law infrastructure, and we also proposed some regulation that is deeply rooted in legal theory that is based on classical liberalism. We'll get to that later. Yeah, so an abridged version of my story is I came here in, I think, 2021 after, we had developed a gene therapy protocol or a gene therapy platform with the intention of designing it to be the perfect universal platform for genetic exchange among humans. So to use like a crypto metaphor, it's like a layer 2 software. It's a little software packet for humans to be able to take a gene in and then also to pull it out, allowing for digital prototyping and experimentation with genes. And so, with the evolution of multicellular organisms and the human organism, the amount of information transfer per unit time is very much bottlenecked by sexual reproduction. But you could say that the acceleration of development in consciousness and technology in the world is such that we absolutely need systems that can help integrate patches and updates to the human experience. And longevity and life enhancement is the goal and the thesis of our company. I thought this talk would be a Q&A, so we'll get to questions later, I guess. But to continue the story, basically we were in a situation, I was in a situation where we had developed the platform, we had tested it in ourselves, and we essentially knew that it was safe enough to iterate rapidly with previous developments in drug design. This largely centers around having novel molecules that may have never been in biology before, and then putting them into mice and putting them into monkeys and then putting them into humans, and being very slow and careful. But we had a non-inflammatory platform that was reversible, and we were focusing on bioidentical hormones. So, that means hormones and proteins that are already a part of normal human physiology, already a part of your chromosome, and oftentimes already somewhat well understood by medical science. So that's kind of the safety background that we felt made it appropriate to want to accelerate our research faster than the normal timeline that would be accessible in like the United States. And so, it was 2019, I think, and 2018 actually, and I was like, wow, this is working. And there was really two people that I could think of that I could call to help me decide where to do this. I knew I was looking for an offshore jurisdiction, and one of those people was Michael Strong, who is here. He's I think of him as a visionary and incredible wisdom seeker and giver. I very much admire him. I met him at an anarchist conference in 2014 in Austin, and I was like, I gotta ask this guy where I should go. Like, I had no idea actually he was in the charter city space at all. I just thought he was a cool guy. And he was like, hey, you should talk to Gabe and look at Prospera. And I had not heard of Prospera back then. But I talked to Gabe. I was like, wow, this is compelling. You know, they have like some initial legal charter. They've organized some diplomatic negotiations. Gabe's been working on this for like 15 years. And I just kept calling back every 6 months, like, hey, how's it going? And, you know, you guys got some money yet? You know, eventually they raised like, I don't know, $40 million or something. And then they bought the first piece of land. I forget, it's like 30 acres or something. And then they built the first building. And then they allowed LLC creation. And so on the first day, I created my LLC. And I flew down to see what Prospera was all about, you know. Back then, it's hard to tell from the internet, like, how real is this place? Come on. Walked in, and wow, the beta building is just so gorgeous. I love the, you know, rainforest, organic, original thinking, futurist aesthetic that the architecture embodies. I was like, this is a good choice. Had a nice atrium. And then the first 5 people, I met this like economist that flew in from the EU. And then I met the chief strategist and the you know, main founder of the Dubai Financial Zone. I was like, wow, these are, and I just kept meeting. I met a founder of the Stogini residency program. And I was like, this is cool. You know, no one gets to prosper by accident. It's really, you have to do a lot of like kind of mental and, you know, maybe even spiritual calculations, like to decide I'm going to fly a sequence of flights to get to this building. And, you know, I was really sold. Yeah, I thought this place was the bomb. Nick Dranius was there, and he explained to me the entire legal system in a detail I couldn't get online. And that's what sold me the most. I really understood it, and I believed it was extremely well designed. When I was a teenager, I was kind of a nerd, and was, you know, read a lot on the internet about legal theory from a kind of libertarian perspective and ethical perspectives, and I thought they really did it right here. And that segue, that made it really easy for me to know how it works here and to know what to do, because the legal design and the regulation design here is extremely intuitive. It's not like there's been hundreds of years of random politicians that don't care about long-term, you know, continuity or moral values, laying down random edicts and policies every week here just because the ruler like needs the farmers to get a subsidy or whatever. It's everything to me just made sense based on my reading of philosophy. So that made it easy to get started. And I thought it was amazing that I could literally speak to any kind of founder, regulator, person working in the government here. In the case of the FDA, you know, we have to prepare this package and pay a lawyer $20,000, and then he has to, like, I don't know, maybe give it to his friend so that we can get to the front of the line to have a conversation. It's kind of crazy. Here it's very straightforward. So that's the main reason that I love Prospera. I can tell you a little bit more about what we did, I guess, here. You know, we started our clinical trial in 2022. We wrote our protocol proposal. We submitted it to an IRB for review. The IRB reviewed it. An IRB, it's this type of, if you're unfamiliar with the term, it's an institutional review board, and it's this type of, it's kind of distributed regulatory system where you basically have to get 6 or 9 functioning adults in society to agree that the pros versus cons of doing the study are worth it. and that the ethics and the safety and the potential benefits, they kind of certify it as like, okay, this is a good idea, and there's somewhat independent body. So we got it IRB approved. That allows us to both like publish it in journals and for it to be seen in a better light. And we started recruiting based on word of mouth. The first 6 people were people that I knew that had been waiting for years to try the thing that we made. And so we made them come down, a little documentary filmed about it. And then every month, those people told more people, and then the next people told more people. And soon we had, the first 50 people do it. And the results were, I think, the most extraordinary result, which I did not expect at all, was 11 years of epigenetic age reduction in 3 months. That was surprising, because that's a big amount compared to the other interventions like metformin, or I don't know, the trim thing with HGH and DHEA. It was a big amount. And there had never been an epigenetic study done on follistatin before. Mice have been studied, salmon have been studied, monkeys and dogs have been studied, but they never actually studied the epigenetics. And the epigenetics are, there's this way that scientists have now. It's been developed over the last, I don't know how many years, but somewhat recent for it to be commercially available. There's these like methylation codes that happen as you go through life, moment to moment, year by year. And machine learning algorithms and different types of algorithms have been developed to analyze that data and then map it to different types of biological health outcomes and ages and stuff. So that's what epigenetics is. It's a really up and coming diagnostic tool. Also, people lost fat, people gained muscle. Follistatin was originally kind of researched as a combination. What is that? A combination muscle gain therapy and life extension therapy. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thanks. You want to go to questions? Okay, well, thanks. Yeah. Let me make up some final words. Oh, yeah. So I am free for one-on-ones. Would love to meet anybody in biomedicine that has a startup in particular, or pharmaceutical development that is interested in getting started here. I'd love to help you and collaborate. Everyone I've met that is here for that reason has really been really blown me away and been impressive. So I want to help you get started. Thank you.